Good afternoon, and welcome to what will hopefully be another exciting excavation of a dinosaur's skeleton. Now, as you can see, we have all the tools that we need to excavate the beast, and this time we have a little clue as to what might be lying beneath the surface. So, without further ado, let's dig in. I've got my gloves, which are, of course, on the one hand, to protect me from debris and anything that might permeate a membrane, and on the other hand is to protect the remains of the creature. Now, I don't think it's any surprise that this particular beast is what we know as a Triceratops. Now, Triceratops, of course, means literally three-horned face. It's derived from the Greek tri, meaning three, ceras, meaning horn, and ops, meaning face. So, let's take a look. Let's see what we can find out, shall we? So first of all, I think, let's take this new tool here and just cut broadly. Score down the middle. Of the deposit, and brush away gently to see where we're beginning here. It's a very rewarding sound. Now, similarly to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which we successfully excavated the other week. The Triceratops lived in North America in the late Cretaceous period. Now, it's unlikely that the two would have met, but if they had, I wonder what they would have made of one another. The Triceratops with her bony neck frill. Now, the three horns and that bony frill have sparked some debate amongst paleontologists. What are the functions? Why did they have them? There are a number of potential reasons. First and foremost, it was thought that perhaps it was due to, for defensive purposes. Others think that perhaps it was due or for the purposes of identification. So blood vessels would have run up the bony frill and perhaps displayed different colors or patterns that other dinosaurs could have used to identify. Or they could have been used in courtship, trying to impress another Triceratops, or even to battle other males, much like a lot of the animal kingdom that we know today, including to a certain extent man. Very well. Let's see. There we go. And now we can see some remains of the beast. Let's see if we can identify what they are. We don't have much to go on, but I think we're looking at some kind of semblance of a tail, and perhaps even part of a rib cage, or maybe even a leg. Let's see if we can get a bit more. It's such a joy to find that first element of a beast, isn't it? Now, as part of this series for Meridian History, we will also be examining and excavating lost treasures from ancient civilizations. So there's a lot to look forward to in this series. This will be the last dinosaur for a while, but I'm sure we'll revisit this ancient, forgotten world soon enough. And here we go. What have we got here? What does that look like to you? I'm thinking it could be the frill or a leg bone, but we won't know for sure until we get deeper in. Anterior incision is in order here. To give us the full breadth of what we're looking at. See if we've got anything. No, I can't quite see anything. Not to worry. Triceratops was first described in about 1889, and numerous remains have been collected since then, including at least one complete individual skeleton. So it would be a real treat today if we found an entire Triceratops. But any result is fantastic. Let's see if we can break the rock. And here we go. Well, that looks like a horn to me. I don't know about you. Ah, the telltale signs of a foot. Looks like a phalanx bone to me. I'll just drop that. That's part of what I do. Sometimes drop things. I have to keep you all on your toes, don't I? Don't want you falling asleep. No problem. It's all part of the exciting and dangerous world of paleontology. Well, it didn't sound particularly good, but don't worry, I'm sure it's absolutely nothing. There we go. physically. And there we go, there's a bit coming off. Now what we need to do first, before we excavate the remains on this part and examine which bones we're dealing with, we need to ensure that there aren't any in here. I don't think there are, but there could be. We need to be diligent and patient. It doesn't look to me like there's anything in either of these, but we'll put those there. And don't forget about them, just in case. There are other remains in there. Now we are dealing with a myriad of bones here. You can obviously see the vertebrae, the entire column here, like an ischium here, and this looks to me like the bony neck frill, a foot, a horn, and possibly some kind of hip, but we'll see more of that when we get in there, okay? Go. It's coming together, eh? Push that debris around. Which one should we go with first? Which one looks the most rewarding? Well, there's a lot in that one, but this one looks like it could be the most fun. So let's take a look at what we've got. And yes, as suspected, it looks like the frill and the horn, half of it. Which is the big bit that we're looking for, really, the most distinctive part of the Triceratops. Breaking away before our eyes. It's very rewarding. One half of the skull. Clean that off a bit and put that to one side as we get the rest of it out. Here looks like the lower mandible. Just chip that out. Side, and as we can plainly see, there's the sacrum. Oh, actually, no. Yes, it is a sacrum. And it's the rib cage. That's the sacrum at the back, the hip bone at the back, I would imagine. And there we have it. So what we have here is actually, this is the ischium here, as you can see, with the ribs going up to what would connect to all the scapula, I suppose. We'll just tidy it up a bit, ready for when we get everything together. And that will do for that. Excellent. Now, let's find the rest of it. Here, as you can plainly see, is what looks like a hind leg. So we have the phalanx bone here, which is the toe, going up to the fibula and the tibia and the femur, which will eventually join with the hip there. And what else do we have in here? Another hind leg, exactly the same as the other one, only mirrored. Gently crack away and get my glove caught. And here we have the front leg, or one of the front legs. The phalanx toes, metacarpal bones, ulnar and radius and humerus, which goes up to join the cervical vertebrae, eventually the scapula. And mirrored, same, the other front leg. The tail, which will be part of the vertebrae. And the other half of the skull, the most telltale sign of a Triceratops. The nasal horn, one of the more distinctive and at the same time recognizable elements of the skull, with the upper jawbone here. The brow horns, which make it a Triceratops, and the bony frill, as we discussed. I'll just drop something on the floor. Absolutely fine. And finally, we can see what we're up against here. Of the ribs. And now all that's left for us to do is assemble the skeleton and enjoy what we have discovered. So, first of all, we will take the rib cage, which is the same junction we are required to attach the tail here. Thusly, tail is attached, and we have constructed the overall rib cage. And let's attach the legs. So the hind legs pop in here. If I can get it in. If you'll pardon the potential pun. One hind leg in there. And the other. Two hind legs connected. Looks like a funny chicken monster at the moment, doesn't it? Let's do the front legs. This one first. That's in there, good. And the other. Being very careful not to damage the beast, as it will be in a museum soon. There we have it so far. And finally, let's construct the head. So we have the jaw here, a little bit of debris in there. Let's check the other one as well. Yes, little bits here and there, which will make our task that much more difficult. But let's see how we get on anyway. And the joint here at the cervical vertebrae to complete this beast. If only I had more hands. For a while I thought the beast was going to triumph, but it has not. Man, as always, aggressively prevails and forces together an ancient beast that should have otherwise remained undisturbed. And that is the full excavation of a Triceratops skeleton in under 30 minutes. Thank you for joining me on this sometimes perilous journey where I struggled to construct a skeleton after evidently struggling to uncover it in some gypsum clay. But here we are, victorious, standing atop this creation, and I want to sincerely thank you for joining me for that. I hope that you have a wonderful day.